All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about something I think we all know way too well. That feeling of being totally stuck, frozen by our own thoughts. You know, when you want to get something done, but your brain just won't let you.
I mean, really. Have you ever found yourself in that loop? Just worrying so much about all the things that could go wrong that you just do nothing at all? It's this weird kind of paralysis, right? And the reason behind it is actually pretty fascinating and a lot deeper than just, being a worrier.
There's this perfect little story that captures this. It's about a farmer. He's standing there looking at his field, everything's ready to go. But then his mind starts, oh, I can't plant now. What about the mice? They'll eat the seeds. And what if it doesn't rain? Or what if it rains too much? You know what? A single earthquake could just wipe everything out. So he thinks of every single possible disaster. And what happens? He never plants a thing. He literally guarantees his own failure by trying to avoid every possible failure.
And that story, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It leads us right to our first big idea, the paralysis of worry. This isn't just overthinking. It's a state of being completely and utterly stuck.
And here's the really crucial part to understand. Worrying isn't just a harmless bad habit. It's not a neutral thing. Every single second you spend worrying about a future you can't control, you are actively building the future you're so afraid of. Think about it. You're laying down the bricks for a future of suffering, one worried thought at a time.
Okay, so what is actually going on here? What's the mechanism behind this self-sabotage? Well, there's this incredible metaphor for it. Imagine a single leaf has fallen and landed right over one of your eyes.
This is what we're going to call anxious fixation. In Vietnamese philosophy, it's called vọng, and it basically means a delusional thought. It's when a single worry, or maybe a grudge, or even a strong desire becomes that leaf. It's so close to your eye that it blocks out everything else. Suddenly, that tiny little thing becomes your entire world. You can't see the sky, you can't see the path ahead. All you see is the leaf.
And this leaf, it can be anything really. It could be a single worry about one tiny part of a project at work. And suddenly you're so obsessed with it, you lose sight of the big picture. Or maybe it's a grudge you're holding against someone. That grudge becomes the leaf, and it blinds you to any chance for growth or reconciliation. It can even be a really intense desire for something, which makes you totally blind to the dangers right in front of you, all because of that one little leaf.
So this blindness, this fixation, what does it actually cost us? Well, the price is incredibly high. And it's not just you who pays it, it affects everyone around you too.
I mean, think about the silliest, most common example. The family fight over the TV remote. You've seen it, right? One person gets so fixated, I have to watch my channel, that they'd rather throw a fit and make sure nobody watches anything than just compromise. It's a perfect example. Their desire for that one channel is the leaf. It completely blocks out the reality of family harmony, and yep, at the end of the day, everyone loses.
And this is how we end up making these just awful trades in life. You're at a gathering, and someone is so fixated on being the first to get food that they're rude, they push past people. For what? A single meal. For that tiny, fleeting little win, they've just traded away their reputation. They've swapped something that lasts, like people's respect, for something that's gone in 5 minutes. It's a terrible deal.
So what's feeding this beast? What's the fuel for this fire of fixation? Well, you can trace it back to what are sometimes called the 5 poisons. These are really powerful human emotions. You've got greed, which makes us obsess over what we want. Anger, which makes us fixate on what's frustrating us. Ignorance, which keeps us from seeing the bigger picture. Arrogance, which convinces us that our obsession is totally justified. And of course, doubt, which just traps us in that endless loop of worry. These are the engines that drive fixation.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's big, it's messy, we've all been there, we see how much it costs us. So, what's the way out? What's the antidote? The good news is, it's actually surprisingly simple, and it has nothing to do with thinking your way out of it. The solution is all about doing.
Now, this brings us to a really stark contrast between two mindsets. On one side, you have the person who hits a problem and just says, I don't know how to do that. And they stop. That's it. End of story. But on the other side, you have the person who says, I don't know how to do that, So how can I learn? They don't see a problem as a wall, they see it as a task, a thing to be done. That is the fundamental shift from being stuck to being useful.
So how do we actually do that? How do we make that jump? It's really just 3 simple steps. Step 1, acknowledge the problem with no judgment. Okay, the shelf is wobbly. That's it. Step 2, stop that voice that says, I can't fix it. Instead, ask the question, okay, how could I fix it? What would I need to learn? And step 3, just take the very first, smallest practical step. Go find a screwdriver. Watch a 2-minute video. Just do the work. That's it. That is the whole secret path from worrying to doing.
And here's why this is so much bigger than just fixing a shelf or finishing a task. This path of action, it's literally how you build your own future.
There's such a beautiful way to think about this. You never see a child get taller from one day to the next, right? You look at them every day and they seem the same. But then you look back after a year and whoa, the growth is undeniable. Learning and doing are exactly like that. You might not feel like you're making progress today or even this week, but as long as you are doing, you are growing. Guaranteed.
Because the future isn't this magical place you just show up to one day. No. The future is built piece by piece on the foundation of what you do right now in the present. There is no other way to do it. So if you waste today worrying, you're building your future on sand. But if you use today to act, to learn, to do, you're building it on solid rock.
Which, of course, brings this all back to you. This is where it gets personal. We have to ask ourselves, what's my delusion? What's my anxious fixation?
Because that voice in your head, the one that's constantly worrying, it makes you a promise, doesn't it? It whispers, hey, I'm just trying to protect you from getting hurt, from failing. But you have to understand, it's lying. It's a liar. It's the same voice that told the farmer not to plant his seeds. The only thing that voice is protecting you from is your own growth, your own opportunities, and your own success.
And we know this. We've felt the pain of this loop before. We know where it leads. So why do we keep doing it? It's absurd, really. It's like knowing that fire is hot, deliberately touching it, and then being surprised that you got burned. Why would you follow a thought that you know from experience is only going to hurt you?
So, at the end of the day, it all comes down to one single crucial question. The most important question you can ask yourself. What is the leaf that's covering your eye right now? Is it a worry, a grudge, a desire? What is the huge, beautiful, opportunity-filled reality that you're missing because of it? Because once you can name that leaf, that's the first step. That's when you can finally brush it aside, see clearly, and start doing. Start building the future you actually want, right here, today.